Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be the topic which is close to the hearts of many parents out there. That is the art of appreciating our children, or how to praise our own children. I'm going to talk about this. Most of us as parents, we want our children to be confident, to be motivated, and also stay resilient in most of our times, right? But to achieve all this, it can be achieved through praisings or appraisals. More and more we praise our children, this can be achieved. But we need to know the art, or we need to know exactly how to praise our children. Before we dive into this topic, one request is, please do subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever I upload these videos, and this can bring a lot of impact on your children and your parenting journey. Okay, now coming to this topic, usually what happens is we as parents, we are lacking we are running short of words or vocabulary when we praise our children. How do we usually praise? We just talk, maybe we start telling them, okay, well done, good girl, good boy, good job. That's all we do, right? So at one particular time or at one stage in life, children are not able to understand what were they praised for, or they don't realize it, what is the potential, right? So we need to make the child understand the potential and how exactly, the child is able to recognize his own, the distinct features that he has got. Now that has to be praised. Now, so that's the reason I'm going to tell you exactly how we can praise our children. The first point is, be very specific in your praisings, or how do you praise your child? You have to be very specific. When we tell usually well done, good job, the child is not able to understand what exactly is she praised for. Now imagine the child is come up with a beautiful painting and you are telling them, wow, I'm really impressed by this art. You have used vibrant colors here. It's so wonderful job. You know how to blend these colors. It's wonderful. So when you start taking that action or the task when the child is completing, and you are specifically mentioning what you are really liking in this effort or in this particular task, that is going to be a kind of recognition. The child feels that, yes, I am good at blending. I can explore more. He feels that kind of achievement in his task. Oh, really, you're really good at this particular thing. Whatever you have done is wonderful. I just love this color combination that you've used. So once you start praising like that, the child is able to understand why exactly he is praised for. The second most important thing, what as parents we need to remember, is praise for the effort that the child is putting in. Now here, most of us are lacking behind as parents, because imagine the child is not able to reach to the expected benchmark of the parent. The child is trying to score really well in one of the subjects, but he scored little lesser compared to the expected marks that the parents were expecting. And imagine the parent was expecting 20 out of 30 and the child scored 15 on 30. And now what, as usually, we have seen what parents do is, I was expecting you to score 20, but this time also you haven't scored. We don't feel like appreciating our children at this point of time, right? Now what happens? The child feels demotivated. No matter how much I put in my effort, I'm not going to get that. And my parents are also, I'm making my parents unhappy. I'm making my parents disappointed all the time. This is what the child is ultimately taking that meaning out of that event. Now we have to be mindful about these things. Try to make it a point that you are praising for the effort that the child is putting in, and then again, you have to show them that you still trust them. Most important is the trust that you put in your child becomes a weapon, or he feels empowered at that point of time. You tell them that, yes, I really appreciate the work that you have done, the effort that you have put in, and I know how hard you have worked for all these things. And I still trust you. I still trust you. I'm sure that you can achieve much more than this in the upcoming exams. So once you start telling them, the child feels recognized, or he feels that whatever my parents now are, what the dedication or that commitment that I have put in achieving this marks, of course, my parents trust me and I can do far better than this in the next exam. So once you start telling them those empowering words, they think in a different direction. Any challenges that they face, they feel like overcoming those challenges again. I mean, it's not a big deal for them because the efforts are being recognized. And the third point, what I have to tell you is about the sandwich approach. Usually what we have is, we were taught in our training sessions also that you have to use a sandwich approach when you want to correct somebody. That is, if you want to correct a person, then you have to praise them, and then in between you have to correct them and again praise them. And that's what we call a sandwich approach, which I totally deny in this particular matter, because what happens, ultimately the child is only able to remember the correction and not the praises. So keep a separate time for correction and separate time for praisals. Whenever you see anything right, you praise right there itself, and don't mix any of the corrections at that point of time, because that is going to harm. I mean, the entire appraisal will be nullified. What I have to give you an equation is plus and minus becomes minus only, right? So this is what I have to tell you. If you want to praise the child, just praise him for whatever you have done or the child has done. And keep a separate time, maybe half an hour later or maybe 1 hour later. You can talk about the corrections as well. I don't say it's not needed. You have to talk about the corrections, and it's mandatory. But have a separate time for this. Don't mix both of them together. What happens is, when you correct the child, it becomes like a criticism. So the child takes in as criticizing, and then he will forget all that appraisals that you have given to him. Children do pretty well. Maybe they are, for example, now the child is cleaning up all the room, or he's tidying up the room. And then you tell, okay, tidying up the room, everything is fine, but I wanted you to even take care about your shoes and the shelf out there with the books and all that stuff. But see, look at that, how dirty it is. Okay, now this, whatever you have done, it's wonderful. Okay, I appreciate that, and see to it that you clean this as well. Now what happens is that but, or that if, when it comes, usually it nullifies rest of the things here. So make it very clear that you do not have mixed up or that sandwich approach when you praise your children. Fourth point that I want to highlight here is, be very genuine in your appraisals, or when you praise your child, be very genuine. Do not be artificial. Do not fake your praising the child. Especially when it happens, this usually happens when we praise our children in front of the public. The child feels that, okay, I think this has been exaggerated and this is not needed actually. The child feels, and he himself will start thinking that mama is too much. I have not been that good. Okay, so don't try to fake it out. Just make sure that you are praising from your heart. I mean, it should be genuine. Genuinely you are praising, and make sure that it is something that actually needs to be praised. Any particular task, you feel that it has to be praised, then do praise it. For example, you can say, thank you for helping me today in the kitchen because I was really feeling unwell, and you have taken that responsibility of cleaning up the mess. I'm really thankful. Just praise that particular action. The fifth point is very important. That is how to praise the child. Where exactly do we need to praise? That is, praising the child in public becomes like a celebration, and criticizing them, or even I would say correcting them perhaps, would be in private. So when you do that, when you privately or like a secret, you go and tell them about the corrections, it doesn't seem to be like a criticism there. It becomes correction, and they feel like changing it. Now they feel that, okay, my mama is talking about my own, she's really cared about my reputation. That's why she's coming and talking to me in secret. secretly she's trying to correct me. This child is able to understand in a better way, and there are more chances that he will listen or he will abide by all that instruction that you give them. So this is something very important, and we usually do it the other way around. That is, we try to criticize them in public and praise them when they are alone or when nobody is there at home. So never try to do that. Just tell in front of people that what he does usually. I mean, be very genuine and be realistic and tell them, okay, this is how he takes really good care about his siblings. And I just love that. And I'm really grateful that he is doing it. He's helping. This helps me a lot in my day-to-day life, So when you say that, the child also feels empowered. He feels like doing it more. The sixth very important point is accentuate the right things at right time. I mean, right away, praise the child. Whenever you see anything good, any positive behavior, just praise right away. Don't go to wait for an opportunity. Don't go to delay this particular thing. So start praising them right there. For example, you can say, oh, you are keeping all the toys inside. That's wonderful. You're trying to keep all the house clean now. That's really nice. So nice of you. So when you start doing that, the child, even if the child is not willing to do that work, he feels like doing it, completing the work. That's how you see, you need to accentuate. I mean, as early as possible, try to praise. So do not delay in your praises at all. This is what I have to talk about the art of praising our children in this video. I hope you like this video. Also, again, a gentle reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, support me in this venture, and see to it that you can spread this message to as many parents as possible so that they too can learn the art of appraisals and start appreciating their children in this same manner.